I've been trained to exchange time for money, like for my entire life. As my profession, I go in, I see patients, provide a service, and I get money for that. But this I can do from the beach. I can do from the airport. I can do from the car. It's nuts.
Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video.
So hello. So this is Dr. G, and welcome to the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast. I am literally coming to you on location this week. This week we have spring break for our cherubs. And so this is all very new to us because literally we had been homeschooling for the past 9 or 10 years. And, so this is the first time since we moved to Guam that they're actually in school. And so we are getting used to having a more regimented schedule. And of course, having them have things like spring break and then figuring out, well, what do we do during spring break? Much like we had to try to figure out what to do during the winter break when we had that. So anyway, long story short, I literally, we got together with several of the parents at the school and we decided that we were going to do a staycation. So one of the beautiful things about living here on Guam is that we have the opportunity to take advantage of the hotels and the resorts that are here. And so there is a club that you can join. And with this club, you're able to experience all of the different resorts and you get a chance to experience the different restaurants and activities that are offered to tourists usually, right? So this is one of those times when we got a chance to take advantage of that. So a bunch of us got together and decided that we're gonna do a staycation. We're gonna have like a day, the first day, which is yesterday, where we were going to get together at a pool and have essentially a pool party with the children. And it was amazing. What a way to start your spring break. I mean, they absolutely loved it. And we as the parents loved it too, because we got an opportunity to just fellowship, which we just don't really get an opportunity to do very frequently. And with the pandemic, of course, that made things more difficult. Like people weren't getting together at each other's houses and things of that nature. And so for people like myself who are brand new to the island, it was refreshing because, this is what we had learned about the hospitality we had learned about or heard about prior to us moving here, just the difference in just being able to just get together and commiserate. So anyway, so we got to do that yesterday. It was lots of fun. And then afterward, we all went out to dinner together, which was also a lot of fun. And it was a great opportunity for us to get to know other families and, for the children to get a chance to bond outside of school because, it's very structured in school, obviously. And besides sports, they are not going to be getting a whole lot of opportunities to hang out with each other. So that worked out really well. All right. So if you're watching the video, and I'm trying my best to look at the camera because when I turn my phone, because I'm doing this with my phone, which is another thing. So hopefully the sound quality is good because I'm utilizing my microphone that goes with my phone. And it's not my usual podcasting microphone, but it should hopefully give you some pretty good sound. So anyway, I am going to do my best to look into the camera because I have the phone turned on. What is this? Horizontal view, I guess. And that is best for YouTube. So I'm trying my best to keep an eye on the camera so it doesn't seem like I'm talking to you and not looking at you in your eyes. If that makes sense. All right. I know it's kind of weird because it's a little bit, it's not the same, but I'm talking to you. But I'm wanting to look at you too. Like I want you to see my eyes. So anyway, so there's that. So if you watch the video, which I encourage you to do, you'll get to see what I am seeing, which I mean, absolutely amazing. What I can also do is I can turn the camera around so you can actually see the full scope of things. So if you get a chance, if you're listening, definitely go check out the video on YouTube so that you too can also see the amazing view vista that I'm seeing. All right, so let me see if I can turn this around. All right, so here we go. It helps if I don't put my finger over the camera, right? All right, so our hotel room is on the 11th floor of the Hyatt Regency. We stayed at Hyatt Regency this time. Last time, if you can see this video, then you'll see that there is a building that is in a distance that has an orange roof top. That is the Hilton. That's where we stayed for our staycation for winter break. All right, so here we are. We're at the Hyatt Regency and we're on the 11th floor, and it was amazing to watch the sunrise this morning, to watch the sunset last night. And if you follow me, you know that I love to walk this very beach right here. So the beach that I am now spanning is the beach that I love to walk along in the mornings after dropping the cherubs at school. And it is, I'm gonna try to see if I can give you a better view. So, so yesterday we were all in this pool area. So there's a little lazy river and there are several pools here. The cherubs were having a great time just enjoying themselves in the pool and enjoying the beach. Some of them went down to the beach, enjoying the beach. I mean, it was absolutely delightful. And so these were our surrounds for the staycation. So yeah, so basically I want to share that with you. I feel like I can't keep this to myself. I feel like I need to share it. I mean, it just, every time I think about that, the fact that this is home. All right, so I'm going to turn this back around. Every time I think about the fact that this is home, it just really makes me have to pinch myself. And so that brings me to something else, right? So, there are so many reasons why facing fear can be very beneficial. So this is example number one of why it can be, right? Because I've told you before, and I know you've heard the story. If you follow me, you understand the situation. I definitely had multiple fears, but starting to face my fears really led me on a path of self-discovery. And as a result of that path of self-discovery, it allowed me to take more chances. And when I took more chances, it led to more rewards. Okay. So it led to us being able to just pick up and move 7,000 plus miles across the world and have a new home here on Guam. And so, the other day I was literally I was actually walking along the beach, this very beach that's behind me. I was actually walking along the beach, and at the same time I was doing something. I was conquering another fear that I'm working on for this year. And that is the fear of learning to trade. And you may have heard me talk about this. And I mean, I can't stop talking about it because I cannot even believe it. Like, I can't believe that I was afraid of doing this. And I can't believe how much I enjoy it now. And so basically, I had this fear of learning to trade because I was deathly afraid of losing. I was afraid of losing, and I was afraid of the charts. The charts, to me, when I looked at them, they looked like a complete foreign language. They were, there were symbols on there were numbers on there, and I was just really off put by that. I really didn't know what they meant. I felt like it was an insurmountable task to learn how to read them. And then the other part of me was, there are people who have success. Yeah, true. But I really thought that I would probably just end up losing a whole bunch of money, right? So these were my fears. I'm just being honest. And of course, somebody's drilling, like there's some construction happening. So that's the background noise. But I really had this fear, and I was just like, you know what? I have learned in my brief lifetime of 47 years that whenever I have that type of fear, whenever I feel that, those butterflies in my stomach, whatever you want to call it, that is the time that I need to dig in and face my fear, because every single time that I've done that, it has led to something amazing. Exhibit A, my home, right? I live here. We are very grateful, very blessed to live here. And all because we took a chance, all because we faced fear, all because we decided that we wanted to grow and just be different than we were yesterday. And so trading is the same way, right? So I finally bit the bullet and I started to utilize the program that I had been subscribing to since April of last year. I started using it in September, and I literally just did it in pockets of time, right? I literally was like on the way to the emergency department. I would listen to a few minutes of it, just constantly like in pockets of time doing it. And as a result of that, it took me a little bit longer to go through the beginner basics course. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter how long it took, because in my mind, I knew that once I'd gotten over the fear of actually starting the program, that it would mean that even if it took me 6 months to get through the basics and it took me a year to learn the skill, I knew that that was a skill that would never go away. After all, I did spend like 8, 10, 12 years of my life getting to the point where I could be an MD that is board certified, right? So if I could wait and I could train and I could learn for that long a time, 6 months was like no big deal, so whatever it took. And so there I was, I got the beginner basics, we were all set. And then the next stage of the program is to actually start trading with a mock account. And so I couldn't do it. Like I had a hard time doing it. It took me another 2 months to trade with fake money. And it just really showed me how much I was afraid of losing. I was afraid of losing fictitious money. It was just crazy. And so finally I decided to do that, and I did it. And I started looking at what strategies I was going to use, because there were several instructors and different strategies that could be adopted in order to fit your personality as a trader, because trading is 90% psych, like 90% psychology and 10% actual skill, technical skill. And so I had to wrap my mind around, well, what kind of trader am I? Like, I can't, there's no way that you can be successful trading if you're emotional, or if you are impatient, or if you lack discipline. Like all these things I had to learn, and I was learning them with the mock account. And so I initially thought that I was going to be a scalper, which means that you get into the market at short intervals and you get out really quickly and you grab the bag, right? You get your take profit and you get out. I thought that was perfect for me, because as an emergency physician, I deal with very little data and high stakes all the time. And I really thought that that would be a perfect match. But then as I was doing it, it turned out that it wasn't. And actually the thing that fit me the most, ironically, was the long-term trading personality and long-term trading strategies. And so this meant that I had to analyze the chart, figure out where things were headed, put in bids based on that, and then good risk assessment, obviously, beforehand. And then after that, making sure that that I put in my alerts, right? Because I'm busy. I'm not going to sit in front of the chart. I knew that I couldn't do that. I knew I wasn't going to be able to sit in front of the chart or my phone or whatever and trade like that. Like I just knew I couldn't do it. So I'd set my alerts and then I would just wait for things to happen. And it was incredible. Like I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do here. And so I thought I was good. And so then now the next challenge came. So here's the other pearl. Whenever you're doing something, whenever you are striving for a goal, whenever you are looking to improve yourself and push yourself to higher heights, it's always important to surround yourself with individuals who are either on track for that similar goal or higher goals than what you're on track for. And so that's what I did. I had a peer group of other traders who are also learning and are at different stages in their process, but they are all pushing for pretty aggressive goals. And so they pushed me to stop staying in my comfort zone of the mock account and actually start a live account. So that's exactly what I did in January. And so initially I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to start the account. I'm just going to put like $1,000 in there. And I was quickly stopped in my tracks with that particular concept, because one of the biggest tips for new traders is to start small. Don't go crazy and put like all this money in there. Start small, learn the discipline, learn the patience, master your strategy, push your account from like nothing to something. And then guess what? You'll be able to handle the really big accounts, right? You will. And you're not going to be so stressed out and emotional making bad judgment decisions because you had placed a larger amount of money to start. And so that was the best advice ever. And it really worked out well because I started the account with $50. And I learned very quickly the details of margins, of when to remove stop losses. I learned when you're trading over a weekend, when the market is, I trade for foreign exchange. So the market closes over the weekend for foreign exchange. And, you know, all of the things that are going to serve well when the account is 6 and 7 figures, I had to learn those very quickly and sometimes very harshly with my little account. And thank God I started with a little one, right? And so I ended up going through 3 $50 accounts before I started to have success with trading. And I tell you this because that is the reason why the number one tip with new traders is to start small so that you learn the technicalities, right? You learn the discipline, that you're not going to be utilizing emotion. You're going to be using risk management and strategy. Like that is the reason why. And so, you know, now I'm at a point where, and it's absolutely amazing to see the transformation. I mean, it took me months, right? So I started in January and now we're into mid-March, right? And so I can tell the story now because it's like, wow, you know, like when you're in the fire, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the fire. But then when you come out the fire, you're like, oh my gosh, I was in the fire because I need to have a testimony to tell people, right? So this is my testimony. So literally last weekend, I attended a business meeting. So my tech company had a global business meeting in Houston, Texas. And so I flew to Texas. And I could tell you about the flights and stuff like that another time. I mean, I definitely have stories there. But anyway, so I went through Japan this time. So I went through Tokyo, went to Narita Airport. And then on the way there, I ended up going to San Francisco and then to Houston. And then, of course, coming back, thankfully, was only 2 flights. So I had the really long flight, the 14-hour from Houston to Narita. And then I had the shorter flight, the 4-hour from Narita to Guam. So anyway, I'm standing in the TSA line for Houston, right, coming back. And I had set these bids up. I had set them up like maybe a week and a half prior before I even went to the meeting. And I set the bids up and I was like, literally like, all right, let me look at see where we're at. And a couple of my alerts had gone off and I was really excited about that. And so I was looking at everything and I'm standing in the TSA line and I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, I'm about to get on a 14-hour flight, a 14-hour. I need to like secure the bag, right? So when we say secure the bag, we mean close out the accounts and collect the profit. So I'm standing in the line and I'm like I'm like clicking through close, 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 like all of the accounts, pretty much all of the bids. And then at the end, I realized like literally in those few minutes that I was standing in the TSA line, I had literally took profit on about $150. Okay. Now, mind you, this was my $50 account. Like this was the most recent one, the one that has survived all of the things I mentioned before. And so now that pushed my account from the 50 original to, well over 500. Okay. Well, almost 500, because then what I did was I put in bids for markets I knew that were going to be open during the time that I was going to be in flight. And so I put some bids in there thinking that when I got off the plane, I would take profit on those, right? So I did that, and it was just like the craziest feeling because I literally got off the plane, and when we had Wi-Fi in the airport, I literally like looked and I saw another $100. So of course I'm like closing those and taking the bag again, right? So now the account it got 150 boost before I got on the plane, and then it got another 100 boost when I got off the plane. And so that time it was when it hit the 550, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, a $50 account in the span of about 2.5 weeks, because that was the one I started beginning of March, was at 550. And all because I learned all of those valuable lessons from the learning platform, from, starting small and following the advice. And then it just was proof of concept that it can be done, right? So now I'm working on, the house money, right? I'm not working on my own investment. I'm working on playing with the house money, which is what it should be, right? It should always be that. You shouldn't have to be in a situation where you potentially lose your own shirt, right? I mean, that's why I was afraid, because of that. I didn't understand the concepts. I didn't understand that there is a strategy, that there is a way in which you can mitigate your risk to the point where you don't lose your shirt. All right, so I'm telling you this really long story, and I hope that you're like bearing with me, because I want to tell you the details, because I want you to visualize that, when you face your fear, even if it's something that may seem pretty trivial to you, or, some incredible things happen. Like I never would have imagined that I would be trading. Like I never would have imagined that I would be excited to look at my charts, and I'd be excited to, see how my bids are doing. Like right now, I have some bids that I put in right as I got back. So there are several of them that I'm waiting on, right? So this week, they're gonna all come to take profit, I'm pretty sure. So, like that is just incredible to me. And then the fact is that I was in the line. I was at the airport when I was making money. Like I was literally not physically exchanging time for money. That was another thing that blew my mind, like literally blew my mind, because I've been trained to exchange time for money, like for my entire life. As my profession, I go in, I see patients, provide a service, and I get money for that. But this I can do from the beach. I can do from the airport. I can do from the car. It's nuts. And so complete mind shift, complete paradigm shift. So, that was my fear around the whole thing. And that was how the situation has currently turned out and is turning out. And then, so I wanted to share this with you also, because I feel like if I can do it, anybody really can do it. And I feel like the platform that I'm using is really powerful in that way, because it facilitated somebody like me who had been deathly afraid of the charts, to learn the jargon, to be able to get to the point where I can literally sit in a TSA or standing in a TSA line and close my bids and take profit. I mean, it's just nuts. So so anyway, I wanted to talk to you about it because I feel like everybody should get involved, right? Of course, I'm gonna be like totally pushing it, but like I just don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like You learn to ride a bike or you learn to swim, and then you can forever swim. You can forever ride a bike. You just don't forget that stuff. And so this is the same way. And it's something that like literally you could be taking a trip. So now that brings me to the whole thing, the whole concept of traveling and trading. And I literally was doing that. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was doing that when I went to this meeting. So my tech company is focusing right now on travel and trade. And I was actually practicing that during the meeting. Well, going to the meeting and coming back from the meeting. And I just want to share that. I really feel like it's something that can be done by most people, honestly. And so if you are interested in learning more about the platform, I definitely would love to share that with you. The other thing that I wanted to share with you about this is that, you know, it's something that you can, like I said, once you learn it, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be with you forever and can be utilized for more than just, I mean, I personally trade foreign exchange, but colleagues of mine trade cryptocurrencies, they trade commodities, they do indices. I mean, it can be used for any platform or any entity that has a chart, which to me is like mind blowing, because the foreign exchange market by itself is a $6.6 trillion day market. Right. And then if you add in like the indices and you add in crypto, we're talking about several more multiples of trillions of dollars a day. So why would I not want to learn that skill so I can participate in that as another income stream, right? One where I don't have to exchange my time for money, and I'm actually being rewarded for the time investment with money, right? So anyway, so that's my plug. I just wanted to tell you about that story, that experience, and share with you, obviously, these amazing views that I'm currently having. I didn't want to be selfish and not share it. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was, you know, part of my fear where I was literally afraid of losing money, that goes back to me being afraid. Like, you know, they have that saying, scared money doesn't make money. And it's so true. Like when I started, not this past business, but the business before that, my husband told me very clearly, he said, you know what, you know, your problem is you have everything in place to have a successful business, but you're afraid to risk anything. You're afraid to put money in. If you don't put money in, you're never going to make money. And it's so true. So this last year, I made a decision to sacrifice and put money into my business, and it has made all the difference, because I understand now that scared money really doesn't make money. If you're not ready, if you're not willing to risk a little something on your vision, your dream, then guess what? You're never going to get a return. Like, it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible to do that. And so if there's something that you always wanted to do and you're thinking, oh man, I have to invest X amount in order to have my vision realized, then invest X amount. Okay, you may not have success. If you don't, that's okay. You can literally move on to something else. It's a lesson. It's not a loss. It's not truly a loss. It's never, ever truly a loss. And yeah, anyway, so I that was on my heart. I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share with you my trade experience, my fear of trading. And, you know, it has opened up so many other doors. Like once I started learning this, I started getting my eyes open to other things within the digital space. Like, for example, I literally just purchased 3 NFTs, which are Meta Bounty Hunters. And I don't know if you know anything about NFTs, but like the Meta Bounty Hunters are essentially breaking records constantly. They're the first community to launch where they've sold out everything. They sold out 8,888, and they have a reflection pool. I mean, it's just nuts. And so anyway, I saw it. When I saw it, I said, oh no, I'm going to do this. I don't fully understand non-fungible tokens, but I know that they gain value. And I know that it's another way of having an income stream. And so I did it. I didn't let fear stop me. I literally got 3 of them. I wanted to get 5, but I was unable to get 5, but I got 3 of them. And already, before even reflections are being paid out, the floor price for the NFTs has doubled, and it's only going to continue to grow. And they're talking about, having space in NFT world and having all of these other things added to it. And my mind would never have been open to this had I not started the journey to learn to trade. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's exactly what happened. And then there are other opportunities that have arisen as well. Like there's another opportunity now that I am participating in where I am literally putting money. I put like a small amount of money in. I think I put like maybe $500, maybe $1,000. I'm not sure exactly how much I put in there, but I put money in there, and they basically trade. They basically use my capital and they trade, right? So I'm trading because I'm learning the skill, but they're also trading for me. And what happens is the profits are shared, right? So basically I get a weekly profit sharing. And literally last week I got 3.5%. Where can I put $500 and earn 3.5% on it? No account that I can think of. So I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna get the $500 back in pretty much no time flat, few months. And then it's gonna be house money again. So, I would never have thought this way had I not decided to face my fear and learn to trade, like, and actually start the program. Like I would never be thinking this way. And so I'm sharing it with you. Anyway, so I have chatted for quite a while about this. Hopefully you're enjoying the view and that's helping you to be encouraged and be excited. And I'm hoping that my words are helping you to want to face your fear and make it happen, because this is your year. This is your time. This is the moment when you should be doing the thing that you always wanted to do. And you are not going to let fear thwart your progress. You are not. And I'm not. And I don't want that for you. So I want you to have the amazing success that comes with facing fear, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and having amazing personal growth. So if you are interested in anything that I talked about today, feel free to hit me up. I love talking about this stuff, obviously. And I want to share in what I'm learning, because I feel like, there's plenty of room for success. There's plenty of room at the table of success. So keep facing your fears, keep making it happen. And this is going to, you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, but like, if you follow me, my assistant is going to kill me because I totally forgot what the date is, but I'm going to be doing a behind the scenes for the trading platform coming up here in April. I believe it's April 14th, but I could be wrong. So please don't judge me. It's not due to my head. Or I'm not due to my heart. It's really due to my head and me forgetting and me like not having quick access right now. But look out for that. It should be in the show notes. The link is there. Register if you're interested in learning more. And we can definitely chat during that live session, because I'm going to be sharing about the opportunity for learning to trade through my tech company's learning platform, and more stuff along those lines. Okay. All right. So this is Dr. G, and I hope that you will be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.